Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining wherever you're joining from. Always nice to see everybody get spotted on the map while we get things going. Uh, Led Zippo from Taiwan, drinking beer, ready to rock. Great, love it. Matt has to walk the. I assume that's a dog. Back in 10 minutes. Okay, great. If you do have a question for me today, we're just going to start rambling otherwise. But if you have a question, make sure you start your message with the letter Q, and that will put it in a little questions column for me on my screen here so it doesn't get lost as the chat gets going. So, yeah, oh, and we're already kicking things off with In Plain Sight gifting 10 channel memberships. Thank you for that right off the bat. Amazing. So, welcome new channel members. As a quick reminder, if you are a channel member, which there are now 10 more of you, make sure you find the members section on YouTube. Link is somewhere down there. And go tab into that, and you'll find the link to the Discord. The Discord is for channel members, and it's where we can keep in touch throughout the week. I've been posting stuff I've been working on throughout the week in there and chatting, answering questions, whatever. It's always fun to keep in touch in between the Sunday streams. So if you are a new channel member, thanks to In Plain Sight, make sure you go and take advantage of that. Very cool. Thank you for that. So, yeah, I did have one thing I thought would be fun to do today. This just arrived. I just bought this network dock from Elgato. This will turn a Stream Deck, especially the XL, into a network PoE powered Stream Deck, which is very cool. So I thought it could be fun to set that up. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. It is still brand new in the box. So we can take a look at that and open that up and get it connected and see how that works. Otherwise, yeah, let's see what's going on in the chat. Grish says, I scheduled a stream this morning and saw YouTube has a new live stream control design. I have options between horizontal and such. Do you already have this? Oh, I haven't actually checked because I automated the creation of this stream. So later today in the evening, it will post next week's automatically, and it just does that through the API. So I actually haven't gone into the studio in a while and taken a look, but let's take a look right now and see what I see here. So if I go schedule stream, let's just go create new from scratch. I know I saw some notes about about launching a new feature that will let you stream like horizontal and vertical from the same video. I don't know if that's rolled out yet or not. And oh, I did see this. This is new. They have a leaderboard checkbox, so I can turn off the silly little leaderboard that ranks people based on how much they talk. But it looks like I don't have that the new features yet. So congrats, you are part of the A/B test. No idea when it'll roll out to my channel. It can be very random. In Plain Sight says, love supporting top-notch knowledge. That's hard to say. Keep up the good work. Oh, thanks a bunch. Thanks a bunch. Oh, it's after you scheduled. Okay, let me go try it again then. So let's go. Maybe I'll go test it out with this one. Any settings? Details. Yeah, lots of automatic content. Yeah, I don't see anything like that. They definitely do. They definitely do A/B tests and roll out features in slow bits. So I'm not surprised I don't have it yet. But that's cool. Look forward to seeing that later. I saw some notes about that in one of the channel update sections somewhere at some point. In Plain Sight says, I have the new layout. Also doesn't look like you have it. The whole design is different. Oh, okay. Nope. Yeah, hasn't hit my channel. I wonder if Lily will have it. She's been getting some of the new features before me too. Well, let's get this thing open because I want to see how this works. It was almost smooth. Oh, and it has something. Cable behind. Don't talk. It feels like there's nothing in there, but there is still one more piece. There it is. Oh, that's nice. They give you a short little cable for it. And I think that's it. Okay, so we don't need that. Okay, so there's a little base. There is a cable and something here. We'll see what that does. So it is made for the Stream Deck XL. So it's supposed to like fit exactly in there. Yeah, look at that. Can't find the light. And then this should sit on top. Yep. So that fits perfectly in there. And then we should be able to use the short cable. And the Ethernet jack supports PoE, which I'm looking forward to, so I don't need to find another power supply. And then I guess that means this is for wall mount. And this is for what? Maybe if your wall mount can hold the cable. So I think I don't need those. My other question is, does it fit in side of this one? Not quite as smooth. But I mean it doesn't stick out. So that's good. Okay. So let's go figure out how to route this cable right. Stream Deck side. And then we should be able to just go like that. It's pretty good. It's tucked in neatly. So I'm going to put those away. And then we just grab an Ethernet cable and plug it in. So I don't need my other short USBs. There it goes. Okay, let's let that boot up and see what happens. Oh, look at that. It's even saying that it's getting it's got a little display. So it's showing me the IP address it got. That's great. Cool. So if you want a static IP, you can go in here and change the IP address. That's very cool. How do I go back though? I guess I have to finish this. Cancel that. Keep it in DHCP mode. 10.11.44.23. So that means it should actually already be appearing in Companion. Let's see if that's true. If I go to Surfaces, Remote. There it is. Hasn't auto-discovered. Let's see if I can type it in manually. Stream Deck XL PoE. And I'll just type in the address that's showing me on the screen. Oh my gosh, and look at that. Well, that was the easiest thing ever, and there it is. It's already connected. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Well, that was a short video. I guess I can cut that out and post it. Is it PoE? Yes, it is. It is. The only thing powering it right now is I've only got one wire connected, just the network wire. There is no USB. It does have a USB power jack also, if you don't have PoE, but then you have to run 2 cables. So it's very cool that it just supports PoE directly. What is going on? So, okay, so let me back up. If you don't know what the Stream Deck is, this is a very useful little box for controlling all sorts of stuff. And I typically use it for running my show. So this is my main Stream Deck over here, and it's got buttons for all the different camera angles. I can cut between the different cameras, show you the overhead, tons of stuff, right? Controlling the ATEM is just one thing it can do. It can also control OBS, or you can route it to the HyperDecks or whatever. I can run my little animations, things like that, right? So it's like super, super cool software, and it's all configured through the computer. So in the computer, you set up your buttons. This is the main page of buttons I use for the show. And then you can plug in surfaces being things like the Stream Deck. And this is actually connected over USB to this computer, which means if I wanted to use this if I wanted to put this somewhere that's not directly next to my computer, I would normally need a very long USB cable. And there are some USB cables you can get that are like 20, 30 feet long. They're fiber USB. They're great. They're not even that expensive anymore. So I'll link to some below in a second. But sometimes you don't want to deal with fiber USB, or sometimes you want to be able to put things in more remote places. So now with this little network dock, basically you plug in the Stream Deck into this network dock, and then you give this a network connection with power, PoE from a network switch, and that gives it the network connectivity and power, and it is running. It then is able to be connected to Companion. So what I did a second ago was I went into Services, which is where you go and configure your local USB devices, but you can also go into the Remote tab and find connect things that are remote. So that could be things like a Stream Deck Studio. It could be a remote Companion instance, but now the device, this Stream Deck network adapter, shows up as a remote option, and it was extremely easy to get connected. So now, just like my main Stream Deck, I can now use this one to control the show and run animations and all that kind of stuff. And this is just connected over the network. So that's your quick overview of the Stream Deck. I do have a video about actually installing Companion, which is the software that I'm using for the Stream Deck, on a Raspberry Pi, which is a good option, although the Pis are a little bit underpowered compared to running it on a computer like a Mac. But it's still a good option. And although now I feel like with the PoE adapter, it's less important to run it on a Pi, because one of the advantages of running it on the Pi is that you're not tied to the same location as your computer. And now you also aren't with the PoE adapter. So very cool little box. Yeah, I saw that at NAB back in March. Yeah, I also saw it there, and I was very excited about it, but they hadn't started shipping until relatively recently. So, yeah. Dylan says the small piece is for holding the network dock in the stand, stopping it from sliding. Let's see if I can figure that out. So it's got a sticky bit. Oh, I see. Does it go in there? Yep. That's smart. Although, why does it stick out? Oh, I guess so you can pop it out. So I could, and that's why this says top somewhere. Top, there it is. So I think you're supposed to do it like that. Stick it on there, and then, so I'll push that in. There we go. That's what I'm going to do. So let's unplug that for a second. So I'm going to put that in first so it's in the right spot. I guess I'll take off the sticky first. Oh my gosh, there we go. There's the sticky pad. I'll slide that in. It says top, so I'll put that in first. There, it kind of snapped in place. And then if I slide this in, it should just stick. Do I want it? Yes, I want it centered. Or do I want it actually a little bit off to the left, I think, so that the Ethernet port is not as tucked in. Let's do that. And there we go. And now I can pop the whole thing out with that. Slide it in, kind of latches in place. And then plug that in, and we're back in business. There it goes. Someone is knocking on the door. Let me see what's going on. Oh, I need to sign up for that. 1 second. Thanks for the loading spinner. I did not want to miss that package. That was a delivery of a gigantic anchor battery for the house. So it's like a 100-pound box, and the guy just like walked up the stairs, and I feel bad. He had to walk up the stairs. The guy told him to bring it back down where I am. Okay. Anyway, back to this. So I see a question here from Crazy Caleb. How is the response time versus USB to the Mac? Let's find out. If I can get them. This is very, I don't know why that's so. Okay. So there they are side by side. What can I test that is not going to change what's on the screen? I guess if I go like, oh yeah, this should work. There we go. That's pretty much the same. I think I see this is the one connected to the Mac. This is the network one. I think I see the Mac one changing a split second earlier. But that's pretty much identical. Certainly acceptable speed. So that's cool. Another perk to being a member, you have access to the members only Stream Deck. Yes, there should be a link to that in the Discord as well if you can find it, although I might need to pin it to a channel somewhere. But the members Stream Deck gives you a couple buttons to do things on the stream while we're live, which is pretty fun. iEdit Project says, flawless setup. I wonder if it's compatible with the YoloDeck. Probably not. I'm pretty sure it's tied to the Stream Deck itself. Oh, but I wanted to test it with this one, see if it works with this one. So let's see if it works with the... It does say on the box that it's not compatible with the original Stream Deck. So, not expecting that, but this one might work. Doesn't fit quite as nicely with the port on the back like that. But let's see if this powers up. Yeah, it does. Look at that. Not as many buttons. I need to redo the design of my buttons for this one. But yeah, it's working just as well. So that's cool. Oh, a little weird glitch on the screen there. Cool. Yeah, I need to actually work on a Stream Deck layout for these to take advantage of the little knobs here. But that is cool. It definitely doesn't fit as cleanly back there with the cable, but it is clearly made for the XL. Do you like it's very satisfying clicking it in there. Well, cool. This is great. This is definitely going to replace the long USB cable I have up on the shelf back there. Have you tried the Elgato Prompter XL? No, I have not. They just announced it. I don't even know if they're shipping it yet. I'm probably not going to get one. So the Elgato Prompter XL, like I'm happy with my prompter setup here, which is, you know, this HDMI screen, and it's a good size. It's like 11 inches to 10 inches. The screen does the image flip itself, so I can see the image the right direction. The Elgato Prompter XL looks cool for sure if you don't need HDMI input. So if you're just using their software, that's the big difference with it. It's huge. It's also like 15 inches or something, and I feel like it was the one thing I wish they had done differently on this is that I wish they had an HDMI input option. It is only USB, so you have to use it with a computer, and then you can use their software to either screen mirror or use their prompter software or other stuff like the chat that they have. And I've used that with the small one, which is fine. And the small one's actually totally fine at like an arm's length distance, which is normally what I'm doing in here anyway. So this is just a bigger version. I do wish that they had I wish they had an HDMI input option because I can't really use it in here because everything that I do in here relies on HDMI. So this teleprompter there is, actually, let me get my other angle. There we go. So that teleprompter is, you know, HDMI in, and that way I can actually route it into all of the rest of the system here. So right now it's showing me the ATEM that's streaming, but if I wanted to put a copy of my computer monitor, I could send my computer there instead. Or I could put a copy of whatever's live, or the Apple TV if I'm screen sharing from another computer or something. So that is one of the reasons I like the HDMI option. And unfortunately, they do not have that on the Elgato prompter. Andre says he's using DisplayLink. Yeah, so it's like you need to like install the driver and stuff. So Dylan says USB versus network is about 2 frames. Oh, did you go back and watch it frame by frame? I guess I could have done that. Yeah, cool. That's not bad. Andre says I also don't like lack of HDMI. I really feel like it was a missed opportunity because I get why they do it on the small one because of the market for that, and it's just physically small. But this one's big and a lot more expensive, and I feel like it should have HDMI. Grish says, what can you do with the Stream Deck knobs using Companion? So there is I don't actually think I have anything configured for it right now, but if you go into a button, when you create a button, there's this rotary actions thing. So you can make this do different actions when you turn the knob versus push it. So obviously a lot of the actions don't make sense for rotary actions. So you're gonna use it for things like adjusting the volume. So if there is, or you could like rewind a clip, I guess. So you could say like, let's see, ATEM adjust input gain. So I could, for example, adjust the gain by -1 when I turn left on a certain channel, and then I would make a rotate right action that would go up 1. And then every time you turn it, it would, adjust that gain. So that's the kind of thing you can do with it. Volume makes a lot of sense, obviously, for it, but you can assign any action to the left and right when you spin left and right. So the sky is the limit, really. Obviously, it makes sense for volume, though. What is the name of it? Can you post a link in the chat? Oh, did I? I guess I should put a link in that. Let me go make one first. Network doc. They just started shipping it, and it's not really on Amazon yet. It looks like it's not in stock on Amazon. I think it's in stock on the Elgato website. So let's see if I can get a good link for it. And products, Stream Deck. Oh yeah, the module too. That's network dock. There it is. And here you go in chat. Oh, that's the Elgato network dock. Matt says the reason for not using HDMI is the USB is the only way it ties into their software. Yeah. I mean, I get that for sure, and it makes sense that like for USB it ties into their software. But I do feel like it should have a toggle where it's like, if you want to use HDMI in, it should just have that option. Mike says, wish it worked with the Director 1. Companion? It does. It does. You can use Companion with the Director 1, which means you can use the network dock with Companion with the Director 1 also. Andre says, I hijacked the mirrored glass of the OG prompter to use with the Lilliput screen. Oh, nice. That's, yeah, I guess that's an option. You can take it all apart and put your own screen in there. kind of silly, I feel like. Could it work with the Neo? I have one somewhere. Let me see if I can go find it. I think it's in... because I used to have it on that desk, and then I kind of cleaned up at one point. And let's see if it's in this box. Yes, it is. Oh, the Neo doesn't have, it's going to be weird. The Neo doesn't have a USB port on it. It just has a USB cable. Neo is the tiny one, right? Or am I thinking of something else? And then I should have, we might be able to get this to work. I don't know what this is called. No idea what this one's called. This is the little baby one, 6 buttons. So it's only got a USB cable on it, so I need a little adapter. And then let's see if this works. Neo is the rounded white one. Let's see if this is going to turn on, though. It's powering on. Let's see if it connects. Looks like maybe no. Okay. I'm guessing this is based on the original gen then that it doesn't work with. And the other one I can try is in here somewhere. with that foot pedal. I have no idea if that's going to work, but that would also be cool. This one I did not buy. This one they sent me, and I still haven't actually done the video about it, so I guess this is as good a time as any. Oh, lots of little springs and stuff in that box. Let's see if this makes any sense or if it works at all. Okay, it does have a USB. There's the USB-C port there. There's no screen on this, so I don't know what's gonna happen or how to tell if it's gonna work. So, foot pedal rules for triggering a mic cough button. That is a very good point. I think we're gonna have to go into companion to see if this is working. I've never done I've never done this before with the foot pedal. Start at page 1. So actually, I probably, oh, I can't change it. Current page. Let's give it its own page. 42. And go to here and go to page 42. Because I don't know what's going to happen when I push a button. I don't know how to tell if it's working. That's the other problem. Is there anything in the log? No. Let's disconnect it and reconnect it and see if it pops up in the log. Okay, Stream Deck dock, network dock disconnected. Let's delete it and start over. Discover. Okay. Remote. Yeah, I have no idea how to tell if it's working. Usually you can see it blink yellow when you push one of the buttons. Guessing no. I'm guessing it doesn't work. Is there anything on the box that mentions that it should work? Not compatible with first gen devices and Stream Deck Studio. That makes sense. Stream Deck pedal, no. Wait. This is a confusingly written sentence. Network dock is not compatible with first generation Stream Deck devices, parentheses, blah, 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 and Stream Deck Studio, comma. I think that's a comma. Stream Deck pedal only works in DHCP networks. So it is supposed to work. So what do we have to do to get it to work? Remote. But it just says disconnected. Let's disconnect it again. Get rid of, let's forget it. And then discover, it sees it, add Stream Deck. sees it there. Network dock. Current page is question mark. Let's go to 42. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. And when I push buttons on the other Stream Deck, the this is telling me that I'm pushing those buttons, and it's not doing it for the pedal. So I'm not sure if that does work. Make sure you set the horizontal offset to 1 if you leave the default buttons. Oh yeah, that's true. But it still should be doing like page number pushes if I didn't do that. So if I go to the network dock, yeah, I should be using horizontal offset 1, assuming that it's going to try to push that button. Oh, there is a little light on. So that's something. But I don't know what that means. I wonder if I need to update firmware on something, which means I probably need to plug into the computer. It works with Stream Deck software, so which I'm not running. Let's see if I guess I probably need to update the Stream Deck software too. Pedal also works with Companion. Over USB, yeah, I know that should. I'm not sure what I can do to make it work with, to get this to connect though, because like I should be seeing it in the, oh, and it's getting a disconnect from that too. It should be seeing button pushes when I do that. Because if I plug in, for example, go back to this guy, then in here, once it connects, there it goes. Adding Elgato Stream Deck XL TCP device, and now those show up. And I don't see that message when I plug in the foot pedal. So I just plugged it back in. Let's see if it does anything. No. Huh. Okay. I'll have to figure out later what's going on. My companion is prompting to update to a new stable. That is very true. Don't know what is new. I don't really want to update live. Morningstar Media has a question. Let's see. I have a question about ATEM Television City with RTMP decoder. Is it possible to send a feed from LiveView or other encoders, or only from Ursa broadcast cameras and ATEM encoders? So I'm pretty sure that it still only works with Blackmagic encoders, although I think that might change, and I can't now remember if they did actually ship it or not, because I don't have this device myself. But the streaming bridge works similarly, where it only supports Blackmagic software, and I know that they've talked about removing that limitation. I don't remember if they actually shipped it or not. If anybody remembers in the chat, let me know. But otherwise, just assume that it only works with Blackmagic encoders. Maybe you should update your companion. Latest version supports new devices. The pedal isn't that new. Did you have a particular use case for the pedal or just something you bought or received? So they sent me that with the network one a while ago, and I feel bad that I haven't properly done a video about it, but maybe with the network dock, this is a good excuse to do a video about these. In plain sight says, do you know if the YoloBox Extreme can run HTML scripts as overlays? Yeah, it should be able to. I've been able to load my chat, this chat stuff, into the YoloBox Extreme as well. I do want to connect the pedal though, because I would like to have a little foot, maybe like cut back to the main camera and mute or something as the two actions. Maybe hide chat. That one I press all the time. Anyway, cool. The network dock thingy is very, very cool. If I'm going to cut that out into a video, I don't have a good ending for it. Maybe that's actually better. Isn't that one of the tricks, is to abruptly end your video so people watch all the way to the end and don't stop when they tell you you're wrapping up? Tom uses the foot pedal to change cameras. Yeah, I would probably use mine to do hide chat, which is a button I press all the time because I don't have them on a timer. Oh, I see a couple of questions from some new folks here. Sorry. If you do have a question, make sure you start with the letter Q so it makes it easier for me to spot here. The DJ Bucks is, when I'm setting up my TikTok and add overlays there backwards, will they look that way when I go live? How are you doing overlays in TikTok? I've never actually done TikTok RTMP. I'm guessing it will not be backwards when you go live. Usually the way these things work is they show you a mirror image because most people are not used to seeing themselves right way around. Most people are used to seeing themselves in a mirror, so if they move their hand and it goes the wrong way, they think it's backwards because it doesn't. But if it's a mirror, it'll look normal to you when you're looking at yourself. So most video conferencing software will show a mirror version of your picture, and then yeah, overlays will look backwards, but it will actually broadcast it in the right direction. Ronaldo says, is the Blackmagic ME2 still relevant in 2025? Do you mean I assume you mean the ATEM 2ME, the not Constellation version? Getting harder to find these. This one. I would say yes. It's a good number of inputs and outputs. If you need, so it's got 12 outputs, which is really useful for running other like confidence monitor, screen in the room, separate feed for live if you wanted like different overlays or something. So lots of options for outputs, which is great. And then it does have super source, which is unfortunately not in the 1ME. I feel like this really is a tough sell just because it doesn't have super source. The 2ME does and has a lot of outputs, so I would say yes, absolutely. Like, it's still a solid box. Obviously, if you want 4K, you have to go up to this version, which is quite a lot more expensive, but I still think most people don't need to stream in 4K. Neil says, I've used a streaming bridge mainly with SRT, but I'm pretty sure RTMP also works with third-party encoders, but only with baseline H.264. Okay, do they finally remove that limitation? Because I haven't used the streaming bridge in a while. I've been using mostly the Magewell Pro Converts for that kind of stuff. Nicholas says, is it possible to use AVR as an HDMI switcher for streaming? What is AVR? I don't know what AVR is. What is, there's a Reddit question. I've never heard AVR before. Why have I never heard that before? In plain sight. I'm still awake. 3:15 a.m. Oh my gosh, go to sleep. Audio video receiver. Oh. Okay. So like for a TV, I would say usually the way those work is they don't do clean switch. So as in when you switch inputs, there will be some amount of time that the signal is lost while it renegotiates the HDMI connection. And it's more like physically unplugging the cable and plugging it back in, and every device will then do something slightly different. So some devices will be fast to reconnect, some will try to like go back and forth and negotiate the signal and might take a couple of seconds. It'll really depend on both devices on both sides. I would not recommend it if you're expecting to be able to use it during a stream to switch cameras or switch between like a camera and a computer screen. That is what actual video switchers like the ATEM are for, where it is the ATEM generates its own HDMI signal, so the thing you're plugging into sees it as one signal the entire time, even if you're switching the inputs. Whereas the receivers or most HDMI matrix devices it's more like actually unplugging it, and it'll interrupt the signal and reconnect. So I would not recommend using it as a switcher for streaming. Pat says, pedal works great until your cat decides to lay on it. I do wish I could have the cats down here, although they would, I don't even know what they would do in this mess of a room right now. Oh yeah, so last week when I went and did the tour of the network closet, we lost my microphone signal, and because my wireless mic receiver is buried inside the rack down here. So after the stream, I went and ordered two 3-foot long antenna extenders, and now the antennas are outside of the rack. So it should work a lot better. So we can try this again and go on a quick little tour and go listen to the sound of the water heater again, because it is still running, and you'll get a sense of what the heat pump water heater looks like, or sounds like, when it's running. It's not that bad, but it's definitely something. You can definitely hear it. Let's do a quick little tour. So let me pop over to the wireless mic and my phone camera. And you can now see the giant mess of the office. Someday I'm going to clean this up. So here we're going into the laundry room, and motion sensor light turns on. There's the water heater. Fan hooked up, but I haven't finished tying the hose. I need to attach the hose to that ceiling with some straps that arrived later. But the fan is extremely effective at pulling the hot air from the top of the room now. And that is the rack. Somebody in the comments of the stream last week said, why didn't you mount the rack above the panel over there, closer to the outlet and the network jacks? And I mean, it's a good idea, but all of the network wires for into the panel run in that bay, and I just really don't want to risk hitting it with a screw, because this requires, I don't know if you can tell, I put some 2x4s on the wall to give it some more stuff to hook into, and I was just worried about not hitting the studs when doing that, so I decided not to risk it. And I just put it over here instead, which is, you know, maybe not the cleanest, because the room is very crowded, as you can tell. It works. Yeah. Got the camera in wide angle mode now. You can really see the mess. So hopefully you could hear me that whole time instead of it cutting out like last week. Audio was cutting out. I even did a test before the stream and it didn't cut out in my test. Back to normal. Okay, hopefully it wasn't too bad. One of you, I need to figure out, you know what I need to do with the channel member stream deck is I need to put the name of the person who pushes the button very small in the corner down there. Because I don't know who did the little confetti. I'm guessing it was probably Matt. Two by fours always solve problems. It worked, but it cut out a couple times. I think it was trying to noise cancel the fan. Oh, that could be. I wonder if that's what it was. Yeah, so anyway, that fan has been working way better ever since I moved it higher up, because it used to be just on the wall like 3 feet down from the ceiling. And now it is pulling air from the top of the room, which is where all the heat collects. And it has been keeping it way cooler. If I go look at the temperature graphs, you can see the... I actually need to update my automations because it's too effective. So now that room is maxing out at like 74 instead of like it used to max out at like 94. And then when the heat pump kicks in, the temperature drops still a bunch. But just having that fan pulling the hot air from the top of the room has made a ton of difference. So I should have done that a long time ago, because this is a way better top temperature. Of course, it is a lot cooler outside right now. It's 54 outside right now instead of like 70 like the summer, but still, it is. Even when it was 54 outside before I moved the fan, the temperature inside that room was a lot hotter. I can probably actually go look up some more of the history. I don't know how far back it goes. Let's see if... Oh, it doesn't go back that far. I only have like 2 weeks of history, apparently. Oh, but here we go. That was one of the hot days. That was before I moved the fan. And I think this was the day I did it. And then you can see it has not been peaking up there. So that's cool. Mike's tuned in just in time for my favorite part. Wasn't it getting to like 90? Yes, it was. Have you ran flare, I don't know how you say that, in that room? You know, it's been a while since I have. But I can do it. I've got one. Uh-oh. It's not in the case. I wonder where it went. I bet I can find it. I bet it's on this desk. Over here. Somewhere. Over here. No? Uh-oh. This is why I need to clean more often. Should have been right there. Interesting. Is it actually over here somewhere? Oh, it's right here. Let's see if I can get this working on the stream. How am I going to do this? Aaron has walked away more on the stream than he has for like a whole year combined. That is very true. That is very true. What is this called? It is called... It's not a Flair brand. So I think the best way to do this is going to be just screen share my phone to the Apple TV. Let's try that. Screen mirroring. And then it doesn't go into landscape mode, unfortunately. So you're going to get a narrow view of it. It's very cool though. I guess what I can do then is I just realized I'm not even running the ATEM software control on my computer right now. That's how much I've got the Stream Deck system set up. What I wanted to do was build a super source. Oh, there we go. With this in it. Box 2 is the Apple TV. Oh, geez. There we go. And I really should crop it. That was a good guess. And I want to make it full size. Now I can show you around the rack here. That is the Ultra Studio that's doing the chat overlay. Apparently that gets really hot. This is a server that I've got free PBX on. Here's the Stream Deck. XL USB. There's the wired one. And then over here I've got, the monitors are off right now. The HyperDeck is nice and toasty. And the monitor's not too bad. Teleprompter. Yeah. Okay, so let's go walk over to the server room and take a look at that. Oh, apparently I didn't turn off the battery. Oh, is it charging? Yeah, it's charging. My network switch is the hottest thing on that desk. That door is leaking. And heat pump. Oh, there's a little hot pipe there. You can see the top of the room is a lot hotter. You can see the fiber modem is up there. Network switches make a lot of heat. And then my little hard drive is a hotspot. The other bank of hard drives. Server. And what's that? Oh, that's the fiber modem. You can see the cold pipe versus the hot pipe. And the hose actually has some heat to it. That's cool. Yeah, I guess not surprising that the network switches and the hard drives are the hottest thing in here. Oh wow, that door is worse than I thought it was too. I should probably get that fixed. The little AVCAN's camera is one of the hottest things here. And the HDMI switches. Oh, how long has that been off the screen? Lost the Apple TV after the hard drives. There's no indication of that on my phone that it got disconnected. Or I wasn't paying attention because there's a little icon at the top. Saw most of the closet. Okay, great. Some of the hard drives and lost after that. Oh well. Well, I'll show you the back here. It's kind of fun also. So you can see the camera and the AV cans. And then the little HDMI distributor is pretty hot. You know what would really be a good upgrade for me somehow is a way to monitor the stream while I'm walking around. But that's like another device I have to carry. Do your own face. Oh, God. How does the network dock? Oh, I guess I should look at the actual dock behind it. Let's see. So the Stream Deck, the two Stream Decks look about the same. But how hot does that get? Ooh, definitely hotter. It's like saying like 32C. Which is warm. But not hot. Ah! Back in there. There it goes. Do your own face. What do I look like? Oh my God. That's terrifying. Interesting that the glasses reflect a lot. Why is my nose so cold? It doesn't feel that cold. Silly. It is, yeah, Halloween. Okay, well, that was fun. Fun little thermal camera. Let me grab the link to that one in case you're curious. It was not as expensive as the FLIR camera, but they're not cheap. But it's kind of fun. This one is here's the link. A lot of the iOS ones still have a Lightning port on them because they haven't updated to the new. They haven't updated for the new USB-C iPhones. So some of the USB-C ones only work with Android, so you have to double check that it actually supports iOS over USB-C. And then the other thing to look for them on those is the resolution of the thermal imager is not high resolution. It's like sometimes they'll be like 64 pixels wide, but the this one was actually pretty high resolution. Is 256 by 192. Yeah. I don't know why it says there's a newer version available. Anyway. It's amazing how much I quit spending on Amazon when I got rid of Prime. Yeah. Mike says, I can't believe you haven't done this before. I should do that more often. It is true. This one is USB-C, and it works with iPhone. And although I had to get because of my case, I had to get a little extender. So this is what it comes with. And then I just had to get this little USB-C to USB-C because this is not long enough to actually reach with my case on it. I have the Peak Design case, which clips onto my handlebar mount for the bike, and it still has MagSafe, of course. But it's too thick for most of these little gadgets, so it doesn't even reach. So I had to get this little adapter, and then this connects. So it's silly that it hangs off like that. It's supposed to be like closer, but it works. It works. Neil says, I feel like more, better, cheaper thermal cameras have come out recently. Have they? What? I don't get it. Why? I also had got one that connects to the phone. They also have standalone ones. Oh, don't get this one. This one is, it's wireless, sounds cool. Although actually, wait, this might be different. This says Bluetooth. The one, when I was reading about this before, is you have to connect your phone to its Wi-Fi. So it's like, then you can't use your internet when it's connected. But this says Bluetooth, so I wonder if they changed it. Because that sounded very annoying. I would love to see you do a whole episode dedicated to temperature control. What does that even mean? How? I don't understand. Like, just walking around measuring the temperature of everything? Cool. Anyway, I should have closed the door. I can hear the... There are a lot of thermal drone cameras out there. Oh. Yes. That makes sense. Oh my god, we've already been going for an hour. I feel like we just got started. Water-cooled video switcher. I definitely had some thoughts about heating after going through this whole heat exchange, heat pump water heater situation. And I don't have enough room on this lot to do this, but it did make me think, like, could really do some creative heating, cooling design for a house by being strategic about, like, where you put equipment like servers versus the water heater that is also an air conditioner, or actually like wire up a instead of a fridge appliance, make a room that's insulated and actually do like proper commercial cooling into it, that you take advantage of the heat on the other end to heat the water in the house. Because like we have all these appliances that either add heat to things or take away heat from things, and then we just waste the rest of the heat just gets wasted, or the exchange gets wasted. Like a fridge takes heat out of the inside of the fridge and puts it into the room. But why not take the heat and put it into the water that you're going to heat, that you need hot anyway? Because with water, we take electricity and just turn it into heat. Or with air conditioner, you take hot air out of the house and blow it outside. Just a lot of waste, I feel like. So, yeah. I just always worry because I have a lot of electronics that run hot, and it definitely doesn't help extend the life of most electronics. Well, I mean, that's, yeah, so like keeping things cool is obviously important, and it's, you know, hard. So it's an air conditioner, you know, will cool the whole room down, but you can be more strategic about it with, you know, fan placement or the heat pump water heater. So with the battery arrival today, is that the final piece of the solar puzzle? Does that mean a move-in date? We are so close. So quick house update. Last week, the guy came and started installing that, speaking of cooling, all the mini splits, and he has to finish this week. And still has 4 left out of the 10 that are going in. And then he has to do the outdoor units, of which there are 3. And that's like the biggest appliance left to install. He also has to connect the duct for the kitchen fans, like the range hoods need to get connected still, and the ERV, which is another fun cooling thing which I learned about. which is way cool, actually. It is like weirdly low tech, I feel like. So it's a energy recovery, what ERV is, ventilator. That's what it stands for. It's this weird little box, and it's got 4 connectors to it. So if you look at somewhere, they have a diagram of how it works, but not here, apparently, is the answer. So it doesn't work in every climate, but it does make sense in certain climates. What it does is, I'm going to try to find a diagram. Yeah, okay. So there's four pipes. So it has a intake and an exhaust on both inside and outside the house. So it takes air from the inside, your stale air, and it blows it outside. And then it takes outside air and blows it inside. So imagine that's just like a fan, right? It would just be take all the air from outside, blow it inside, have on the other end of the house, and then it blows all the air out, and now you've got fresh air constantly coming in, right? Which sounds good, except the temperature difference would be bad if you're blowing in cold air into your house, and you want it to be hotter, so now you have to run a heater, and now you're wasting all the energy heating, right? So instead, what this little box does is it's like a grid or a mesh of pulling air in that goes outside and pulling the outside air in. They cross each other. But they don't. The air doesn't meet inside. It's like there was a really good picture someone had of one. Oh, it was like I remember they built one from scratch. So imagine you take corrugated cardboard, which has all the little channels in it, or not corrugated cardboard, but corrugated plastic. Although corrugated cardboard should work too, it'll just be less efficient. So this is like the least efficient. I'm looking around because I gotta have some cardboard scraps somewhere in here. Here's one. I can't. That's too attached to too many things. Anyway, you can imagine corrugated cardboard, right? And if you stack a whole bunch of corrugated cardboard, you have all these little channels. And if you pushed air through it, it would go through. So then imagine you stack corrugated cardboard in crisscross directions. So each layer is crisscrossed. And then if you blow a bunch of air through, it'll still, half of it will go through. And then if you blow air across from the other direction, you're not mixing the air streams, right? The air streams never mix. But because they're all physically touching, the heat can transfer. So do this with much more efficient material, like copper or something. And you can imagine that you are able to blow the air across the copper, and the air doesn't mix, but it's able to transfer the heat from the 2 air streams. So now you can take your cold outside air and blow your warm inside air across it, and you will recover some of the heat from your inside air as the cold outside air is coming in. So obviously it's not 100%. So the air inside that comes in will be slightly colder than the air you're blowing out, but nowhere near as cold as the outside air. And then the reverse is true in summer as well, where if you have if it's hot outside and you're pulling in the hot outside air, but you're blowing out your cold inside air, it'll cool down the air that's coming in. So you'll be pulling in air that's slightly warmer than your inside air, but not as bad as hot outside air. It's very cool. It's a very, very, I say low tech because it's like, you can literally just build it out of corrugated plastic if you want to. And it will, obviously it's not efficient, but it does work. Anyway, so that's going to get put in, and that's the last big appliance. And then we're on the home stretch of just tiny little details. Painters need to come back still. LTT runs a cooling loop of his server, cabin, office, swimming pool. Yeah. Matt says we put in geothermal at our vacation house, and I love it. Much less energy, and it's continuous, and the fans are so quiet. That's cool. 10 mini split condensers. Yeah, because it's 3 per unit, except ours has 4. So it's like each bedroom has one, and then there's one for the main living dining room space for both units, and then we have each bedroom. Lily's office, our bedroom, and then also the speakeasy room, just because it's on a southwest corner. So I figured it was going to get very hot, and we'd want to cool it down. Anyway, ERBs, very cool. I did a deep dive learning about how they work because I was like, this seems like magic, and it kind of is, but also not. Maximilian says, now you're talking my kind of logistics. Yeah. It'd be fun to figure out if it's even... I mean, you can definitely build a house that's more heat efficient like that, but I think the problem is that nothing is going to be off the shelf. Like, you won't be able to... Or if it is, it's going to be commercial grade off the shelf. So, expensive, in other words. Still, I feel like there's little things you can do to be more strategic about it. But oh yeah, we did get the because we have the power hooked up, the water heaters work now, and they're the instant water, hot water. And those things are also crazy appliances. I don't know why this AliExpress link is the first result for it, but the way these work are also just blow my mind. It's just like cold water comes in. I think this is part of the cooling system for these little transistors because they're attached to the cold pipe. Because these things generate heat when they're working, right? So cold pipe comes in, cold water comes in here. It gets heated by this first element, so it's already warmer down here. It goes through the second one, gets heated again by a second element, goes up, gets heated by a third element, and then comes out as hot water into the house. And just imagine turning on a faucet, water is running through this, and it is hot by the other end. It's bananas how much power goes into this. Each of these is a 40 amp circuit on our panel. Separate giant fat wire, 40 amp wire to each element. And we already hit the limit because apparently the bathtub filler pulls water at a rate that's faster than this can heat. So we need to put a little stopper on it, a regulator to slow it down. Yeah, fun little details. Anyway, that was your house update for the week. We got the hot tub working. Very fun. It is. I'm learning about chlorine and sanitization as well. So I have. I got a little electric test kit, which you still like dip little test strips into the water, and then they all turn a color. But this little thing can measure the colors more accurately than your eyes can. So that was one of the tests I did. This was a manual. This was the manual test strip that came with it. And thing I learned is that our water in Portland is pretty good, straight out of the tap. So that's nice. And this is what it looks like. Nice and clear water. And now I need to go do some tests on it later this afternoon to make sure it's all at good levels still. So it's been fun. Anyway, we should probably wrap this up at this point, and maybe I will go back and grab the recording of the network dock that I just set up and post that as a little video, because why not? Maybe that's how I can actually get some videos out this week, is just do them live and then edit down. I don't know what the end of that video is, so maybe it'll just end. So yeah, okay, let's wrap this up. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for the questions today. Nice little demo of the Elgato network dock, which you can get it from the Elgato website right now, and soon shipping at B&H and Amazon. But yeah, Reminder, if you are a channel member, which there are 10 more of you now, thanks to In Plain Sight at the beginning of the show gifting channel memberships, make sure you follow the link below to the members section on YouTube to find the Discord link and join the Discord, and we can chat there throughout the week. I'll post more hot tub chlorine test results there as we go and get things moving this week on the rest of the project. And if I do get the foot pedal hooked up to the network dock, I will make sure to post it there, and we'll talk about it again next week. So thanks to the extreme supporters of the channel, Larry, Andre, Kevin, and Marcin. And thanks to all the other channel members as well. Thanks for your support. Oh yeah, other reminder for channel members is in 2 weeks, there will be a members only stream where I catch up on my YouTube accounting. So I go through my last months of receipts and purchases and tally it all up and see how much farther I've been able to recover some of the overspending I've done this year. I totally forgot to mention, buy some of my used gear. There's a link down below, and I'll drop it in the chat again. I'm selling some of the gear that I haven't used in a while at a very good discount. So if you are a member, there's also a discount code in the Discord for 15% off. So someone last week bought a whole box full of stuff, and I shipped that out. And I've still got a few things left. So if you want a couple more good deals, that's where you can find them. What is the Discord address? That is that's the chat system that we use to chat throughout the week while we're not live. So you can find the link to that down below in the members section on YouTube. Thanks everybody, and I will see you all again next week. Bye.